this is where I spend the majority of my workday when I work from home, just looking at these screens. And some days I just can't get into work. It's really hard. And the thing I'm struggling with is my book review number 2 that I promised a while back about the second book I picked. And funny thing is, I picked this book because it was on the bestsellers list, and I thought my boss would really, really like the review and be interested in the book. And what's funny is I don't have that boss anymore, and I really don't think my current boss will like this book. So without any more waiting, the book I picked was The Subtle Art of Not Giving a, I'm going to say a hoot, by Mark Manson. And Mark Manson is from Austin, and he's a young dude. I kind of think this is more of a bro book. There's a lot of language, especially the use of the F word, which should not be a surprise. I think it was used like 127 times. I'll put the right amount up here. In this book, there's a lot of like, kind of talk about marriage and sex that kind of seemed almost vulgar to me, but I'm an old person. I think it might resonate with young people, and that's kind of why I picked this book for my old boss. But anyway, I didn't really like this book, and I think a lot of it was the language. And so I've been procrastinating doing the review, but it's going to be due. I have to do it before September 1st. I was struggling reading it, and I've flown to Atlanta to see a friend of mine, and on the way back on the flight movies that you could watch, they had the hour-long documentary about this book from the author. And I was like, dang, is this good luck or what? I can watch it, and maybe it'll get me motivated to read the book. I would recommend doing that rather than reading the book, especially if you're kind of adverse to the language. That it kind of turned me off.
You're going to die one day. I just wanted to remind you.
Stand clear.
This is me, Mark Manson, and I wrote a book.
So for this book, I would say the basic premise is there's so many things going on in our lives, in the world, and if you care about all of it, you really care about none of it. So the basic of the book for me was pick what you want to care about and let the other stuff just go. And I'm looking at my notes here on my laptop, and when you just pick what to care about, that's what truly matters.
You deserve to be special and unique and extraordinary. Actually, that's bull.
When you are thinking about what to care about or what to give a F about, you start to define your values. And your values should help you determine what defines success and failure for you. And in the book, Mark Manson spends a lot of time talking about how as a young boy he valued being cool, doing drugs, going off on these big adventures, but not relationships. And he started to realize he was kind of not a very good dude. He was kind of a bad dude. He was kind of a player. And he wondered why he didn't ever have a stable relationship. And when he started to value that, he got married. He didn't measure his success with how many places he went to or how much money he had.
Making a lot of money might make you feel good, but it won't make your kids love you.
And for me, as I get to the end of my career, I kind of value more simple things as well, like good family relationships, doing the best I can at work, but not being a superstar. And that's kind of what I think of the basics of this book. Now, Mark Manson liked to use a lot of stories in his book. My favorite one was about a Japanese officer. I don't know how to pronounce his name, but this is the wiki article about him. Was ordered never to surrender. And even after World War II ended, he kept doing guerrilla warfare, I think for like 30 years. And they dropped pamphlets and told him the war was over. And he just kept on going, even though like he lost all of his little battalion. I think it got down to like 3 people for a while, and then 2 guys died or something. I can't remember the specifics. Anyway, another guy was fascinated by this. He went to where they thought this guy was. They could never find him. And he found him and he said, you know, it's over. The emperor who gave you those orders is now dead. You should come back to society. And he did, but he was never truly happy. And it's because over everything, he valued this commitment to be loyal to his promise to never surrender. And I thought that was kind of an interesting story. I really don't know how it ties into me, but I liked that story. So you might be wondering, hey Irene, did you get anything out of this book other than you're one of those people who like the movie better? And I did get one thing out of this book. I'm kind of a saver. And by that I mean, I like when someone says, you know, something's going wrong or whatever. I come up with all the solutions. I want to jump in there and fix it. And in this book, he talked about savers, and he said savers do this because that's how they get recognition and that's how they feel appreciated. And I never really thought about it like that. I kind of thought about it like, well, I just am a fix-it person. But I don't think people really want you to fix their problems. I think what they want is you to hear them and just listen and value their struggle in their problem and just be supportive of what they choose to be a solution. That's my review of this book. It wasn't my favorite. I think he has another book out. Maybe if you're young, you might like it, but check out his documentary. And that's all for my second review. I think the first book I liked better. I'll put that in the description, and the link is up here, down there somewhere, to my first video book review. And guess what? I finished this part of my development goal, the soft goals. Now I still have to finish a class. Oh.